Welcome to the Unfinished Case. Today we dive into one of the most perplexing and heartbreaking unsolved mysteries of all time, the story of the Yuba County Five. A tale of 5 young men, a night gone wrong, and a series of questions that have haunted investigators and families for decades. In February 1978, 5 young men from Yuba City, California, embarked on a trip to watch a basketball game. They never returned home. Their disappearance sparked one of the most perplexing mysteries in California's history, often referred to as the case of the Yuba County Five. Months later, their car was found abandoned on a remote mountain road, far from their intended route. Inside the vehicle, police discovered maps, snacks, and a neatly folded road map of California, but no trace of the men. Over time, the bodies of 4 of the men were discovered in the surrounding wilderness, each in varying states of decomposition. The 5th man, Gary Mathias, was never found, adding to the enigma. Theories about their disappearance range from foul play to an ill-fated attempt to seek help after getting lost. Yet none provide a satisfactory explanation for why they ended up so far from safety. To this day, the case remains unsolved, leaving behind more questions than answers and a chilling reminder of the unknown forces that can alter the course of life. It's February 24, 1978, in Yuba City, California, a quiet, small-town atmosphere where everyone knows everyone. On this fateful day, 5 young men, Jack Madruga, Gary Mathias, Bill Sterling, Ted Wire, and Jack Hewitt, decided to attend a college basketball game about 50 miles away in Chico. Each of these men had mild intellectual or psychiatric disabilities, but they were high-functioning and deeply cared for by their families. They were passionate sports fans, eagerly anticipating their own Special Olympics basketball tournament scheduled for the following day. The group left the game around 10 p.m. and stopped at a gas station for snacks, milk, candy bars, and soda. Witnesses saw them laughing and joking, clearly in good spirits. But what happened next remains a chilling mystery. Their car, a turquoise Mercury Montego, was later discovered abandoned on a remote, rugged mountain road in the Plumas National Forest, over 70 miles away from their intended route. It seemed like they had deliberately driven up the mountain. The Mercury Montego was found on February 28, 1978. It was a cold February night in 1978 when 5 young men vanished in the mountains of Northern California. The group, later dubbed the Yuba County Five, embarked on what was supposed to be a simple trip to watch a college basketball game. However, they never returned home. What followed was a baffling mystery that has puzzled investigators and the public alike for decades. Their car was found abandoned, with no signs of struggle or foul play, deep in the Plumas National Forest. Despite an extensive search, the men were nowhere to be found. Months later, as the snow melted, the remains of 4 of the 5 were discovered, miles from where their car was left. The circumstances of their deaths only deepened the mystery. To this day, the case of the Yuba County Five remains unsolved, leaving behind a trail of questions and theories. Was it foul play, a tragic accident, or something more inexplicable? The truth may never be known. The car was found unlocked, with a window rolled down. Inside were the wrappers from their snacks and a road map of California, but there was no sign of the 5 men. Strangely, the car wasn't stuck. It could have been easily driven further, but the group had seemingly abandoned it. Months later, in June of 1978, as the snow began to melt, a disturbing discovery was made. 19 miles from where the car was abandoned, a Forest Service worker stumbled upon a remote trailer at a campsite. Inside lay the emaciated and partially mummified body of Ted Wire. Ted had wrapped himself in multiple layers of blankets, and the autopsy revealed he had survived for weeks, possibly 8 to 13, before succumbing to starvation and hypothermia. Yet, the trailer contained canned food and propane that could have been used for heat. Why didn't he use it? Nearby, investigators found scattered remains belonging to Jack Madruga and Bill Sterling. Their bodies, partially consumed by animals, were discovered just a few miles from the trailer. In February 1978, 5 young men from Yuba County, California, vanished under mysterious circumstances. Their disappearance has since been dubbed the American Dyatlov Pass, drawing parallels to the infamous Russian case involving hikers who met an unexplained fate in the Ural Mountains. The men, all with mild intellectual disabilities, were last seen at a basketball game at California State University, Chico. They were supposed to return home that night, but never made it. Their car was found abandoned in a remote area of the Plumas National Forest, miles off course from their intended route. Months later, as the snow melted, searchers discovered the remains of 4 of the men in a trailer deep in the forest. The 5th man, Gary Mathias, was never found, and his fate remains unknown. The case is filled with puzzling details. Why did they abandon their car? How did they survive for months in the harsh wilderness? And what happened to Gary Mathias? These questions remain unanswered, leaving the mystery of the Yuba County Five unsolved to this day. The case of the Yuba County Five is riddled with mysteries, and over the decades, several theories have emerged to explain what might have happened. Let's explore them in detail. Theory 1. They became lost and disoriented in the dark wilderness. One of the simplest and most plausible theories is that the group got lost. The men were unfamiliar with the area, and their intellectual disabilities might have made it harder for them to navigate such harsh terrain. The Plumas National Forest is vast, with treacherous trails and dense wilderness. The group may have taken a wrong turn, driven up the mountain road by mistake, and abandoned the car when they couldn't go further. But why they continued walking nearly 20 miles in freezing temperatures, instead of returning to the car, remains a mystery. Was it panic? A desperate attempt to find help? Or could something have driven them out of the car in fear? Theory 2. They fled from an unknown pursuer. Another haunting possibility is that the group was running from someone or something. Some theorists speculate they might have encountered a dangerous individual, possibly someone they had a confrontation with at the basketball game or along the way. Was their car chased up the mountain? Did they hear or see something that spooked them? Witness reports from the area at the time mention a strange, unidentified pickup truck in the vicinity, leading to speculation that someone may have forced them off the road, but no evidence of foul play was ever found. Theory 3. Gary Mathias led the group astray. Gary Mathias, one of the 5, had a documented history of schizophrenia and required medication to manage his condition. At the time of the incident, it's believed he did not have his medication with him. Some theorists suggest that Mathias might have experienced a psychotic episode, leading the group into the wilderness. His body was never found, which adds to the mystery. Could he have survived longer than the others and moved even deeper into the forest? Or could he have played a role in the group's abandonment of the car and trek into the snow? Without concrete evidence, this theory remains speculative. Theory 4. A supernatural or otherworldly encounter. For those inclined to consider the paranormal, the Yuba County Five's disappearance is rife with unexplained details. The Plumas National Forest has a reputation among locals for strange occurrences. Sightings of UFOs, mysterious lights, and eerie sounds have all been reported in the area. Some theorists believe the group may have encountered something unexplainable, a supernatural force or even extraterrestrial beings that caused their irrational behavior and ultimate demise. While there's no evidence to support this, the lack of logical answers has fueled speculation about otherworldly involvement. Theory 5. A misjudged heroic effort. One less discussed theory is that the group may have left the car intending to find help. It's possible they believed they were close to a main road or nearby town and began walking to seek assistance. However, as the snow deepened and the temperatures dropped, their journey turned fatal. When they found the trailer, perhaps some of the men were too weak to continue, while others perished trying to find a way back. This theory highlights the tragic irony of their situation. The trailer contained enough food and warmth to keep them alive for months, yet they didn't utilize all the resources available. Each theory provides a potential explanation, but none fully solve the riddle. Why didn't the men return to their car, which could have kept them warm and sheltered? Why didn't Ted Wire eat the canned food or use the propane heater? And most hauntingly, what happened to Gary Mathias, whose body has never been found? The story of the Yuba County Five is one of the most perplexing unsolved mysteries in American history. In February 1978, 5 young men from Yuba City, California, disappeared under mysterious circumstances. They were on their way home from a basketball game when they inexplicably vanished, leaving behind a trail of baffling clues. Months later, their bodies were discovered in a remote area of the Plumas National Forest, but the circumstances of their deaths raised more questions than answers. The case remains unsolved to this day, fueling speculation and intrigue about what really happened to the Yuba County Five. To this day, we don't know why the Yuba County Five ended up in the mountains, why they left the car, or what truly happened that cold February night. Families are left with heartbreak and endless questions. Could new technologies like DNA testing or advanced forensics someday provide answers? Or will this case remain forever unfinished? Thank you for joining us on The Unfinished Case. If you found this story intriguing, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more unsolved mysteries and true crime cases. Let us know your theories in the comments below.